Hey everyone, Cody Menz here, another WoT's new video for you. I actually have some news this week since we heard some stuff on Supertest and some leaks here or there and some pretty cool stuff coming with the Battlepass Season 3, Twitch Prime, so on and so forth, where, you know, we went a little over a week with like nothing from Wargaming and all of a sudden we actually have some stuff to talk about here. I'll have some basically articles with links to it in the video description if you would like to go directly to the sources. More or less though, you know, there are some rumors that next Thursday/Friday, they will be starting the next public test server for the next update. Included in that is going to be 5 new encounter mode for existing maps. There's also going to be a couple tweaks to maps, one being Westfield, the other being Erlingberg for some small little changes. I've covered those in previous videos. We're going to see buffs to the E50M line, Chinese medium tank line, also the Object 140. We're also going to see a nerf to the Leopard prototype at tier 9. And on top of that, some new customization stuff, some other like reward tanks and stuff added in for super testers to test, and you know, just some general like bug fixes and stuff, and preparing for the next rank season. So all some pretty neat stuff, you know, not like a huge patch, but the buffs specifically for the Chinese tanks I'm pretty excited for, and I'm sure some people will like the German medium tanks. Getting into things here though, essentially though, most people probably have seen already, new Twitch Prime package here, the Starlight kit, because Wargaming has a kind of like a partnership with, I guess, Amazon and the boys specifically, that show, when it comes to some goodies, when it comes to, you know, styles, crew member, all this and that. And on top of that, unfortunately, the King Tiger C is rumored to be removed from your garage. However, from the looks of it, if you had it previously, it should stay with you some way, somehow. However, it'll no longer be offered, I guess, through Twitch Prime after today in this bundle. Who knows? It might temporarily be removed. Hopefully everyone gets to keep it who's had it. I feel like it would be pretty crappy if they remove it and then you have to like buy it or do missions to get it back. But from my understanding, it's basically being removed from the Twitch Prime bundle package alongside a World of Tanks. Who knows if they'll replace it with something else, but you know, only time will tell. But essentially they think, from what they've kind of said publicly so far, that if you had it in your garage, you'll have it going forward, but they're still figuring that out. Tank Brawl is coming back this weekend, you know, 7v7. Not exactly my favorite thing, to be honest, because it boils down to like a certain amount of tanks that are extremely good, high alpha, high burst, stuff like that. And, you know, for the most part, something different, something fun. And, you know, it's fun for a few battles, but it's not exactly my favorite thing. But, you know, quite a few people actually, you know, do like this. Coming alongside of this, if you don't have tier 10s, there'll be a couple of rentals for you, the E5 and the WZ5A. Battlepass Season 3 started, so specifically the T110E5 and IS4 are kind of featured here. And at the same time, strangely enough, the King Tiger, which is kind of being removed, but hopefully not from your garage permanently, or not at all. Again, they don't really know exactly what's happening, but hopefully there's some clarification with that. And, you know, some other goodies with tank rentals, rewards. You can actually pick your rewards now, so like going into the client here momentarily, this is the T110E5 style, equipped with what kind of looks like a torpedo a little bit, but it's actually a plane. It's kind of strange, there's a plane equipped on a tank, but what do I know? But it looks pretty cool otherwise with the T110E5 here. And then the other top 3D style reward is the IS4, which looks pretty nice. It even has a little dinghy. People were joking that's to save your artillery when they decide to drown themselves. And strangely enough, these machine guns I'm really confused about. Like, obviously they're like automatically shot. It just seems weird because how else do you function these things? Because like that's really tall for a person to stand up on, A, and there's not really anywhere like are you gonna get like melted by the freaking engine exhaust? Like if you're standing on these trying to shoot them over the tank, and what if the tank's turret turns? It's a little strange, but in any event, outside of that, like I don't know why they designed it that way. Kind of looks weird. Plus you have like a football helmet here. It seems a little quirky. I like the overall look of it, but some of the stuff doesn't make sense in the IS-4 if you ask me. Otherwise, some other stuff that you get in this. So there's a 2D style. I have this on the T42. This is the, I think it's amphibious one it's called. And on top of that, if we pop over to the, I believe T44, I put this on, is the other 2D style that you can also get through the Battle Pass. One nice little feature that they did for this one is you can actually pick the equipment that you get through the Battle Pass as you kind of progress. It's not set in stone. I like that you get to pick what you want. Moving on now. The server had a very small reset and also a change where they added back in affirmative and negative back into chat messages and the commands. They also fixed it when it comes to clan and competitive play, where you can actually spam the map now without a cooldown. So all nice changes that people were looking forward to. Moving on, so T42, going back to the kind of collaboration between Amazon and Wargaming, some way, shape, or form, this tank is going to be part of that. They actually buffed it, so they turned it into a full-on premium tank. A lot of people think it's going to be a marathon. I would kind of agree with that as well, but it also might be a marathon, you know, a little bit into the future here. Who knows? Special event, marathon, I don't know, but I would assume it's going to be either just sold or marathon. I don't think it'll be otherwise, because you have a premium here plus the other stuff I'm about to get into. Overall though, I'll get into some stats for this tank because you can actually see it in the garage. However, you essentially have, it's close to like other American mediums at tier 8. Essentially though, it's a prototype that is essentially kind of got added into like the M46, M47 patent design. But more or less, moving on, so the boys again, you have a 3D style for the T42, and this is where a lot of people think it's going to be a marathon, because most marathon tanks have kind of a 3D style attached to them. Others think it might be something with Twitch Prime, so kind of replacing the Captured King Tiger as the Twitch Prime tank. And, you know, that's a possibility as well, where, you know, this is going to be the tank going forward. Instead of the Tiger, you get this thing if you have Twitch Prime, and especially because it promotes their TV show as well, which I actually kind of like as well. In any event though, you get two 2D styles, one for the boys and also one for so not heroes, but the 7 essentially. And on top of that all, there's more. You also have 8 total crew members when it comes down to parts of the 7 and also the boys, where who knows if it's going to be so like a marathon where you have to pick and you only get one or the other, kind of like a battle pass, or if you get all of them, which would be honestly pretty nice in a way, because I'm assuming like these will have kind of, you know, like brothers in arms and stuff like that, like special crews. So last but not least, like getting into the T42, so you can see this in your garage. Like they did remove the hidden tag, so you can see it. Balance wise, it does have 280 damage, which is pretty nice, similar to the TL1 LPC. However, the gun outside of that increased damage is close to the Pershing in the tech tree, so standard pen, also premium pen. Same gun depression, however TL1 is one less. In this tank specifically, if you kind of read the description, mobility is a little bit worse on this, but armor is supposed to be a little bit better. But essentially the T42 has better accuracy, and also DPM wise is towards the higher range, but all of these tanks are pretty close in line. But it's accurate, high damage compared to the tech tree Pershing. Moving on to the armor, like numbers don't always paint a good picture, but hull wise this is pretty angled. It's decent. It's not anything that you're going to want to rely upon. However, the turret armor is actually pretty good. Cupola is very small, and the turret armor out of all these tanks is probably the best out of all three of these. So you have pretty good gun depression and hold down capability when it comes down to the T42, and that nice little small cupola is a nice little addition. Mobility wise though, it does have a higher top speed than the M46KR, also the Pershing, and even the TL1 LPC. However, if you look at the power to weight ratio, it is worse than specifically the M46 and TL1, little bit worse than the Pershing. But overall, like this tank, one thing you don't see here is the on the move accuracy is actually much worse on the T42 than it is for most American tanks, specifically the mediums and the ones you see here. T42 has much worse on the move accuracy. So while your overall accuracy is better, you do have a little bit less mobility when it comes to your power to weight. However, the on the move accuracy is much worse. So it's going to be harder to shoot on the move with this thing. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, especially when most American tanks don't have that trait. Otherwise, camouflage, nothing to really see here. And V range, it's got 400 meters V range, which is nice. Poor little M46KR only has 390. All in all though, like this tank, I haven't played it yet, which is why I can talk about it, because it's not in my garage. I know nothing about this. I have not played it. Otherwise, I cannot make a peep out of it. As of this video, you know, I don't have it. But overall, it seems pretty nice, to be completely honest. Like, it doesn't seem completely overpowered, like some of the premiums that we've gotten, which have been very strong. Like, it does seem like if I had to pick between this and the tech tree, like, I'd probably pick this one. Like, let's be honest, it's a little bit better than the M26 Pershing. But overall, it seems like a pretty well-balanced tank. And, you know, with all the other 2D, 3D styles and stuff, and the crew members coming alongside of it, leaning towards a marathon, but honestly it could be the replacement for the captured King Tiger, because at this point, like, wargaming kind of giving out a tier 8 premium, especially kind of like a generalist tank, might get more people into the game and, you know, funnel more people into play. You know, so that could be something that they end up doing, but my bet's right now on a marathon, maybe in about like a month or so. You know, kind of like mid-October or something, if I had to guess. But in any event though, thank you very much for watching this video this week. You know, take a look at the video description for all the links to this video. And yeah, I think I covered most of what is coming up, and this time next week we should have the next public test server for the next update, so lots of changes coming. It's not going to be like mind-blowing patch, but for the most part, some tank rebalances, encounter mode changes, and a little bit of map tweaks. Maybe they'll surprise us and like slip in like a Minsk or Empire's Border rework, which would be pretty awesome, but I think we're probably waiting for maybe one more patch when it comes to that, although Minsk might get put in, if I had to guess, if it's just going to be one of them. But thanks again for watching. Have a good night, and well, I guess daytime. I'm so used to saying have a good night. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. I need to go to bed. See you guys.